Can you guys see that? Yeah? And
Yes.
yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and make this, guys, as interactive as possible. So Taylor, Cindy, and Dane, it would be good to see y'all's faces too if you can. As something, it would be great to see y'all's face. But thank you, Tina, for the introduction. And guys, I never take it for granted when I get the opportunity to speak to a team, especially when you have a leader that is so fired up about you being successful. Not just about her being successful, but about you guys being successful. So it's really exciting to get to talk to you guys. I'm going to try and make it fun. I'm going to give motivational stuff and some technical stuff, okay? If we can just walk out of here with just one idea. I'm going to click through this because you guys, Tina already said it. One idea to implement right away that would make us more money, give us more time, and move our business forward. Would that be a good use of time for our day-to-day? Yeah? Can I get some head nods? First thing I want to do, guys, before we get started, before we dig in, is I want you to text me. This is my cell phone number. So I want you to text me. We'll see who wins. I'm going to give the prospecting power to whoever makes me laugh the most. But text me your favorite emoji or GIF. I'll give you a quick second to do that. That's my cell phone number. Your favorite GIF. I hope I get some really funny ones. Sad that you guys get.
Hey, Billie Jo, you're cutting out just a little bit.
Hold on one second. It. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay, favorite emoji or GIF. Don't think too hard, be instinctual. Go with your gut. Okay, let's see. Who's Adela, Chuck Norris?
Shucks, she's cutting out.
Chuck Norris was a definite win so far. Who's 972-804-8741? Who's that? Whoever that is speaking my language.
David. That's me, David.
Yeah, that's speaking my language. Yeah. Guys, I know that seems a little bit silly, and it really has nothing to do with our workshop. But here, you know, like I said, we really want to have fun and make this as fun as possible and make this as interactive as possible. And at Southwestern Consulting, we believe in laughing and trying to enjoy the jobs that we have because we do them for so much of our lives. The second thing that we really bring to the table is sales techniques, guys. We are known for providing sales techniques and tips and tricks that actually work. Sales processes that actually drive your business forward. And I want to dive into that stuff with you guys about what it takes, especially right now, to still accomplish our goals. We are all facing a new world right now and a new reality. And especially right now, we need things to hold on to because I still believe that 2020 can be our best year yet. I believe that for myself, and I believe that for all of you, no matter what's going on. Before I really dive into exactly all those techniques, guys, I want to just give you some background on the company. How many of you guys have heard of Southwestern Consulting, even just a little bit? Any of you? No? Not quite? So Southwestern Consulting is actually the oldest direct sales company in the world. So we've been around, we're older than the light bulb. Sit with that for just a minute, right? And there are lots of people in Family Heritage. How many of you guys are familiar with the name, well, Nick Henderson? You guys know Nick Henderson, right? Yeah. Dan Lehane, Van Davenport, Patrick Samuels, all of these people really credit Southwestern with teaching them the basics of their sales techniques and training and what it looks like to really kill it in sales. Okay. We were actually started in 1855. There was one guy who thought that everybody in the South needed a Bible. And so he started going door to door, selling Bibles and trying to put a Bible in everyone's hand. Now, we don't do that anymore, right? But every single company that has come out of Southwestern has been in direct sales. In fact, most of you guys, do all of you guys know that Family Heritage used to be part of Southwestern? Yeah. So Family Heritage used to be part of the Southwestern family of companies before they sold to Torchmark, and now that they're Globe Life, right? So back in the day, they were a part of Southwestern. So there's going to be a lot of familiarities, and things are going to feel very comfortable for you guys as we go through the technical stuff, because you're all used to hearing it. You guys get really good training at Family Heritage if you take advantage of it, right? So over time, we've studied top producers, and we've found, habits, sales techniques, things like that, that really just help them push to an upper echelon of performance. But the way that we've achieved our success and the way that we've helped people as much as we have is this strap line right here. Okay. It's elevating sales. We elevate sales. And this is kind of twofold. Okay. So we lift up your sales and help you just sell more stuff, right? It doesn't matter what it is. We just help you sell more of it. But our mission and the reason we exist is we want to also elevate the perception and practice of sales. Okay. I come from a sales family, guys. Sales has been a noble profession to me, but that's not always the word on the street, right? In fact, and you guys can unmute yourself for this part if you want to shout some stuff out or put it in the chat. But, well, first, how many of you guys as little kids grew up and said, I can't wait to sell insurance? Hard pass, right? Hard pass. In fact, what are some adjectives that come to your mind when you think about salespeople? Either right before you started, shout it out. What do you got? Vanessa, pushy, right? What else?
Scammy.
Scammy. What else?
Scammy.
Annoying,
Annoying.
right? All of those things. But guys, sales, and you guys can mute yourselves again, right? I'm happy there are no liars in the room, and nobody said they wanted to grow up and be in insurance. Usually there's at least one in the room. But most of us didn't grow up and want to be in sales, right? That's not what we wanted to do. And I don't know y'all real well yet, but I know Tina, and all those adjectives that you even use to describe what you naturally think of with sales, pushy, scammy, all those things, I know that's not you guys. And at Southwestern Consulting, we are on a mission to help people see sales in a different light, okay? We do this by teaching people to sell ethically, honestly, and without shortcuts, okay? And you can write this down, and you've probably heard it, but we do it with the process of servant selling, okay? How many of you guys have ever used that, have ever heard that language, servant selling? Anybody? Okay, it's old school Zig Ziglar, okay? It's if you help enough people get what they want, you ultimately get what you want. Okay, but that's hard to do because let's be honest, guys. I mean, real transparent here. We're 1099 commission-based salespeople. Who has goals? Who wants to make money, right? But, and I'll challenge you on this piece. Who is that? When we think about that, when we think about goals, when we think about money, where are all those things focused? Us, right? They're focused on ourselves. Yeah. So we work really hard to shift that focus, okay, and to help other people, because when you focus on helping other people, everything good comes your way eventually, okay? So if you take nothing out of here today, and guys, I know what you do, and I know what you do for people as far as your product goes. So if you take nothing out of here today, at least, and I promise you will, you know, Tina and I worked really hard on creating just some stuff for you guys, but walk out holding your head high, because you partner with a great leader and with a great company that really does work to protect families, right? So you at least have that going for you, if nothing else, okay? So let's dive into really quick habits of top producers. Okay, we've studied thousands, and guys, we work with people in every type of industry, and across the board, no matter what industry you are in, there are people that no matter what are top producers and people that aren't. Okay, so we're going to dive into some things that separate top producers from average producers. Okay, the first part of the triangle, guys, you see that? It is skills. Now, for you guys, when you immediately hear the word skills, what kinds of things do you guys think about? You can shout it out or put it in the chat, but when you think about doing your job day to day, what are some skills that pop into your brain?
Relationship building.
Relationship building, right? That is a huge skill. What else?
Communication.
Communication, for sure. Intrapersonal communication, outer, all of it, right? What else? One more. Anybody else? What do you think?
Is it
Product knowledge? 100%. Product knowledge, for sure. But guys, what about your skills to close? What about your skills to actually ask for the business? Okay. What about your skill to guide someone across the buying line and guide them to an actual decision, to not get a maybe? What about the language that you use to walk someone through getting a referral, right? Those are all skills. And I'll be really honest with you, as far as coaching goes, about 30% of salespeople get into coaching for just this, right? They say, I want to learn how to ask better questions. I want to use LinkedIn and Facebook to build out referral partnerships. I want to learn, Billie Joe, I want to learn how to overcome the same dang objections I've been getting since day one, since our get, right? Or I need to know new ways to ask for business that doesn't seem salesy. So about 30% of people get into coaching for this, okay? But none of this matters unless what? You guys see that? Yeah, it's on the screen, okay? But let me go back. It's the motivation. Skills don't matter. It doesn't matter how much of a closer you are. It doesn't matter how good you are at introducing yourself. It doesn't matter how much product knowledge you have. It doesn't matter how technically skilled you are. If you aren't motivated to use the skills that you have, it doesn't matter, right? There are all kinds of people that get into coaching who are technically, Dan Lehane is a great example, you guys. There is no one better at sales than Dan freaking Lehane. I don't know if y'all know his background, okay? But he got into coaching because his business was stagnant. His business was stagnant. He just wasn't motivated to do the things he knows to do, okay? I like to call it your will set, okay? You have a skill set and you have a will set. And if you forget that piece, none of it matters. The last thing of habit of top producers is systems. Now for you guys, what pops into your brain when I say systems? When I say systems, what do you guys immediately think about, or what do you think about as far as in your business systems?
a strategy plan?
Strategy, sure.
The demo.
Demo, yeah. And that would go into product knowledge and skill set. What else? Guys,
Then one, you have to do 30 approaches to get 6 demos to get 1 sale. That's a
100%. The numbers are a system, and they are tried and true, and they have been tested before you, right? You don't have to test that. That's already there. But guys, and there are other things too, like your technology of applications, all those things. But what about time management, right? What about that? What about goal setting? How about having a balanced life and creating the space in your life to do all those things, right? A lot of people get into coaching because they feel like they're working so hard. They're just working so hard and still not getting where they want to be, right? How many of you guys say there's not enough time in the day? 16 times a day, right? Still running around with not enough time in the day. So we really focus on that. We really focus in on all these things of the triangle, but the thing that brings them together is the habits, okay? Now, I could be the most motivational speaker in the world. I'm not, but even if let's say I was, let's pretend, okay? I'm the female Tony Robbins, Tanya Robbins, right? Whatever it is. Thanks, Bree. Okay? I could be that. But if you don't form the habit of implementation, what happens after today? Guys, I was with Family Heritage. I know, and I know Tina, and I know how much training goes on. I know how much is available to you. But how many training calls have you been on? How many times have you heard Tina say something and you're like, oh, that's good, but nothing changes? Habits, this is the core of our business model, okay? We are experts at elevating the practice and perception of sales, and for over a century, right, all we've done is help people build successful businesses, but by building better habits, okay? And we do all of this triangle through everyone's favorite thing, okay? Everyone's favorite thing, accountability, okay? How many of you guys love accountability? Hard pass, right? Hard pass. How many of you guys were like, oh, I can't wait to show up to the meeting and get held accountable? No, right? Nobody wants that. Especially, y'all are drawn to this profession, okay? Because you want to be in charge of your schedule. You want to be in charge of your income, right? We are commission-based salespeople. We are 1099s. We are entrepreneurial minded. We don't lean into it. And I'll be really vulnerable with you guys. This has been the hardest thing for me to accomplish as a human being, is accountability. But I will also tell you this. Anytime I've leaned into it, anytime I've accepted it, anytime I've chased accountability in my own business, in my own life, in my workouts, right? Getting up, my accountability to get up in the morning and go to the gym. My accountability to spend time with my family, to make sure I call my sister on Sunday, all of those things. Anytime I've leaned into it, I've grown personally, professionally, right? And we'll talk about coaching later, but this is the core of coaching, right? We partner with you to hold you accountable to building the right habits that make making money look as easy as walking and chewing gum at the same time. Now, for some of us, that might not even look easy, right? Some of you can't walk and chew gum at the same time. And this is, I pulled this, guys, for you. This is straight out of Van Davenport's mouth. I don't know if you guys know, and he's spun off agency owners, right? But he got into coaching for exactly this. He said, I've learned what I need to do consistently in order to be successful on a consistent basis. So why haven't I always done that? How many of you guys can raise your hand and say, you know exactly, you know the numbers, you know exactly what you need to do every single day to be successful? How many of you guys know that? And sometimes you don't do it. Right? That's it. Sometimes we don't do it. Okay? So I'm going to break down, guys, a couple of habits for you. And in the email that I sent you guys, there's a fillable form, or some of you might have printed it out to take notes on it. But that's where we're going to go here. And this is the 3 habits of top producers, okay? So number 1 is top producers, guys, find a way and not an excuse. Now, guys, it's coronavirus, okay? On a regular basis, it's so easy to make an excuse, okay? But it's coronavirus. And if you guys would be just like a little bit vulnerable with me, I want you guys to text me an excuse that you told yourself either this week or last week or today. I want you guys to text me an excuse that you've used in the last week, or put it in the chat if you want it. But if you share it with me, I'm not going to put it out into the world. I just want you to be honest with yourself and be vulnerable enough to admit it. I don't have my kids. I'm scared. I don't want to go outside. I wouldn't be good at that. Thank you for that. I wouldn't be good at that, right? What else? These are all things that we tell ourselves. I can't hit my goals. How many of you guys, because let me tell you, I've blamed her before. How many of you guys have ever blamed Tina doesn't have enough time to train me? Tina doesn't have enough time to train me. I can't do what I need to do because my kids are around. I can't prospect. Nobody wants to talk to me right now. Nobody wants to talk about insurance, right? I'm afraid to expose my kids. 100%. It's not that these things aren't real, but we rationalize so many things. And right in the middle of rationalize, guys, is the word lies, because they are lies. There's a tiny voice, this little devil on our shoulder. There's a tiny voice inside of us that lets us off the hook. Okay? We call this voice Mr. Mediocrity. Okay? And he's small. In fact, he's so small that he's invisible. Okay? But how big is his mouth? How big is Mr. But top producers, guys, find a way. They find a way, okay? And be honest about what things has he told you today? Maybe I don't need to show up to the call, maybe whatever, but what goals are you giving up because he's saying that you're not good enough or smart enough? How much time are you wasting in a day because he tells you it's not worth being uncomfortable? It's not worth being bad at it. It's not worth any of those things, right? Top producers, guys, don't get rid of it. You know how many times I had it showing up today. I had it yesterday. I have it on coaching calls. But top producers, guys, flick him off their shoulder 1,000 times a day. He doesn't shut up and he doesn't go away, but they flick him off his shoulder 1,000 times a day and they keep doing it no matter what. Okay? Find a way, not an excuse. The second thing, guys, top producers are students of their game. Now, I'm going to make an assumption, okay, that all of us in this room weren't born with millions and billions. Is that a okay assumption? Tina actually told me she was, but she gave it all up just to leave you guys. Just kidding. Or she set it down somewhere and forgot where it was, right? But if we aren't, and anyone who wants to answer this, please do unmute yourself. If we aren't born into millions and billions, how are we going to get it? How are we going to get it?
Work for it.
Work for it, right? I'm so glad that was your answer. Guys, I was in a workshop a couple weeks ago, and this girl said, marry it. And this older lady, the girl that said marry it was a young, cute little girl, but this older lady was like, yes, honey, but that's work too, right? But we're going to earn it. That's it. No one's going to give it to us. We're going to earn it. And, you know, pedal to the metal every single day, guys. We have to invest in our own mind. So one of the best examples I have of this, guys, is my team leader, okay? His name is Dave Brown. Now, how many of you guys know people that are just good at everything they do? Literally everything they touch turns to gold. Okay, yeah, this is annoying, right? This is who he is, okay? He was a 3-sport Division I athlete, okay? Always top producer, breaking company records, all of these things. But for him, every single day, he's asking himself, how can I be better? Because being number one is not enough for him. Being his best is. Being his best. Learning, guys. He says the day I stop learning is the day I start dying. Now, I know everyone else is saying the same things, but he actually lives it out. Being number one is not enough. Being his best is. And I asked him where he got this from, where he got this ability to invest in his own brain to work on it, right? And he said he went to a Jim Rohn conference, and Jim Rohn said, formal education will make you a living, self-education will make you a fortune. Think about this, guys. How many people, and I know your fearless leader spent some money on that MBA, right? But how many people spend hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars on becoming doctors, on law school, on becoming accountants, on grad school, on getting an MBA, on whatever it is, but won't spend a couple $1,000s a year to invest in your own mind, to invest in yourself? Okay? How many of us make that mistake? Salespeople, you know, we don't spend as much money on ourselves as we do on our own car, and that's a depreciating asset, right? We spend money servicing our car, changing the tires, changing the oil, all these things, but we don't spend money on and that's a depreciating asset. We should be only increasing with value, okay? And this is a self-reflection moment for you guys. This isn't anything you have to share with me, but when was the last time you took the time to invest in your own brain, in your best asset, in yourself? Okay? Guys, the third thing is they take action now. Okay? Top producers, don't hesitate, they go. Now, I want you guys to, this is another self-reflection moment. I want you guys to reflect and rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay? Now, let me tell you what it is. 10 is you are on fire. Every day you wake up on Monday and you're like, TGIM, let's go. You make every prospecting call you said you were going to. You hit your approach number, your demo number. You are just dropping the mic on every single day. 1 is you have a pretty good idea of what you should be doing, and you may even have a plan, but your plan keeps falling apart for some reason. Fires pop up constantly. You start to feel like you're never quite where you need to be in terms of your goals or where you spend your time, but you're working so hard. Okay? Rate yourself. And I would love for you to share it with me if you want to be honest, but if you don't want to put it out into the world, at least be honest with yourself. At least be honest with yourself and put it out into the world that way. And then let me ask you this. If you aren't a 9 or 10 on most days, what is it costing you? And notice I said, real quick, notice I said what and not how much. Notice I said what and not how much. Because for some of us, it is money, right? It is costing you money, a boatload of money. I know how much money is available for the taking in that business, okay? And I know, guys, I'll tell you from a person that has left Family Heritage, the residuals are worth all the work, okay? I didn't feel any dip in my income because of my residuals that I built in Family Heritage, okay? So for some of you, it is a boatload of money, but for some of you, it's a goal or a dream, okay? It's putting your kids through college so they don't have to go and take student loan debt. Maybe it's a trip. Maybe it's a house, right? And for others, it's just costing you guilt, shame for not being exactly who you said you were going to be and exactly who you think you should be. Or it's the guilt of, I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I don't have time to spend with my family. I'm all these things are slipping. I'm letting all these, right? It's all of that. So that's why I say what instead of how much, because there are invisible costs. And we spend time with top producers all over the place, business owners, and we have discovered the most expensive cost to a business that's invisible. Can anybody guess what it is? And I'll give you a hint. It starts with a P. Anybody know? Most expensive cost to a business.
People.
Close, right? Close. It's procrastination. Okay. And let's go here, okay? How many of us can be honest with ourselves and say that at least in one area of our life, we procrastinate a little bit? Okay? That's at least like 90% of you. The rest of you will raise your hand later. Get it? Procrastination. Okay. The rest of you will get that joke later. Okay? But it's procrastination. And the worst form of this, guys, the worst form of this is creative avoidance. Now, creative avoidance looks like this, and just be with me for a second, okay, through this analogy. But what's the first thing, when you start your workday, okay, what's the first thing that you do in the morning? Email, voicemail, right, whatever it is, check your schedule. Let's say you dropped your car off, okay, at the repair shop in the morning. And the first voicemail you listen to is the repair guy telling you that the tires that you wanted to put on it are going to be more expensive than they told you when you were there. What's the first thing you Google? Right? You're going to Google tire prices. You might even send out a message on Facebook. Hey, anybody, looking for new tires, blah, blah, blah. Then you're just on Facebook going down this rabbit hole, pretending like you're doing some form of prospecting, right? Then you got to go yell at the tire guy because he told you the wrong thing. Go back and forth. You got to call your husband, call your wife, talk to them about the price. Then maybe it's 2 o'clock by the time you get back. And then what do? Look at whether it's worth it to prospect, right? Bree, do you think I'm following you around? Right? Guys, and then all we've done with that entire day is get new tires, okay? That's creative avoidance. That's creative avoidance. That's avoiding doing the things that we just know we should be doing. And here's the deal. I'm not saying that I'm the God king of not procrastinating, okay? But that's something that here with coaching, guys, is I'm a practitioner of what I preach, and I am working on the same dang things you are, and that's credibility. Okay? That's credibility. And here's the deal with procrastination. Okay? And I know, because I know what your demo is, and I know Nick Henderson, and I've been on all of his training calls, so I know y'all have heard this, but it's Lodi, right? It's the law of diminishing intent. And we talk to it when we sit down and we are closing our clients and we're telling them, guys, when I walk out of this room, you're going to forget about the pain of your family not being protected if you get cancer, right? It's the law of diminishing intent. But how many of you guys have that honest conversation with yourself, right? The longer we put off prospecting, the less likely it is that we're going to prospect. The longer that we put off asking someone for referrals, the less likely it is that we're going to. So with Southwestern, guys, with coaching, all we are is that accountability circle to your IPAs. And you know what your IPAs are. I'm sure Tina makes you track your stats. I'm sure all those things are still going on, right? But it's the accountability to them and to you consistently doing what you said you would do no matter what. Okay? So top producers, guys, we find a way, not an excuse. We're students of the game and we take action now. I want you guys, and you can either share it with me or not, but and actually if you would unmute yourself and share it, that would be awesome too if you could be that vulnerable. But out of those 3 habits, out of the 3 things, what's one that you feel like if you had a little bit more accountability, you could be doing way better at?
Being a student of the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have to agree. Now, student of their game.
Student of the game, right?
Yeah, definitely student of the game.
We have to, guys, invest in ourselves if we want other people to invest in us. Okay? And I know Tina attracts leaders. So I know, and lion hearts. So I know without knowing y'all 100%, and I got to dig in with her a little bit and get to know a little bit, but I know y'all have the heart of a lion. I know you did not just come to be average. But you have to take the time to invest in yourself if you want to be part of that fortune, okay? So that's kind of some motivational stuff for you guys. You guys want to do some technical sales training? Yeah? Some stuff that you can hold on to and get out and go get? Yeah? Okay. Well, I'm going to talk about it anyway, so you don't have a choice. So now, guys, I know, like I said, I've been through all of Nick Henderson. I've been through sales school. I've been through all of Nick Henderson's sales training. I know y'all know what the cycle of the sale is, right? This is not rocket science. In fact, nothing that we do is rocket science. Nothing it is, okay? I'm going to try and give you some fresh points of view, but it's the same thing. It's just, and what I want you to ask yourself So we're going to go through the cycle of the sale, and there's a lot of you that may be doing most of the cycle of the sale, but ask yourself this, honestly, are you doing it consistently? Okay. And, you know, I don't know where you all are at skill-wise, okay, skill set-wise, but let me ask, do I have any golfers or any of you guys golfers? Anybody? Yeah, kind of. Does anybody know how many golf clubs are in a PGA bag?
12?
Ooh, close. There's 14. Mine has 15, one with like a claw on the end to pull the ball out of the water, right? That one gets used the most, if I'm being honest, right? Why do you think there are 14 different clubs for one game?
Depending on what you're trying to do, you need a different club.
Different tool, right? Different tool, different job, right? Now, some of you, okay, are prospecting bumblebees. You're the life of the party. Everybody loves you. You have no problem meeting people, right? But you can't close. You can't close. Vanessa, can you mute yourself? We can hear your drink. Some of you are really good at that, right? But you can't close. You're what I call a professional visitor. People love you, right? Others of you are closers. You say, put me in the room with them. I'm going to nail them down. I'm going to close them. But your pipeline isn't full enough, right? So we have to work on every single piece of this. And I encourage you guys to be honest with yourself about where you are. Now, like I said, none of this is rocket science. You're going to know exactly what all this is, okay? First cycle of the sale, pre-approach, right? Now, with pre-approach, guys, here's the one thing I would challenge you on. Well, pre-approach serves us, right? We need information. We need to qualify the prospect. We need to know if I should even call them, if I should even waste my time. But I encourage you on your pre-approach, let's go back to servant selling. And I encourage you to find things that serve them. Okay? Find things that serve the prospect, okay? Approach, okay? Prospecting. Let's go out and get it. How many of you guys wake up in the morning and you're like, I can't wait to get on the phone. I can't wait to cold call. I legit can't wait for it. I can't wait to go walk in businesses, knock on doors. I don't know what version of the business you guys do, you know, whether you're heavy B2B or residential, or if you're prospecting over the phone, because we don't want to get corona right now. But how many of you guys are wake up and you're super pumped to do it? No, right? But this is really funny, guys. How crazy is it that in 100% commission-based business, we aren't pumped to do the one thing that moves our business forward more than others? The one thing. It is such a big deal, and it moves our business forward so much bigger. And why are we so not pumped to do that? It's crazy, right? It's crazy. But listen, creative avoidance, all those things, okay? Introduction, we're going to come back to this later, okay? But you know what an introduction is. I'm going to teach you guys some stuff on how to do an introduction the right way and get to some cut and some pain quickly. Presentation. Guys, this is your product knowledge. And unfortunately, this is where salespeople spend 90% of their time. I need to know more about the product. I'll pick on your fearless leader a little bit. Back in the day when we first started, she needs to be a master of everything, and the product knowledge she couldn't move. She was paralysis by analysis. Now she's overcome that, right? But everybody goes through that. You feel like you need to know everything before you move, and you spend all of your time, instead of investing in your brain and what it takes to do this business and working on other skills and transitioning to skills and all those things, all we work on is product knowledge. Okay? All you work on is your demo over and over and over again. Let me tell you, if you can't do an approach the right way and pre-approach the right way, nobody's going to see your demo. Okay? After we present, right, what do? We try to ask for the money. We try to close. You guys know this. I'm going to go through some closing stuff with you guys too. Then we might have to overcome some objections, okay? Then we're gonna ask for referrals, and then we're right back to it. You guys know all of this. But let's stick right here on referrals. I want you guys to be honest, okay? In your last, we can go this week or last week, okay? In your last 10 meetings, how many of you guys proactively asked for referrals? Be honest. In fact, honestly, how many referrals did you get this week? 0, 1, 2, right? I want you guys to flip your brain on referrals, okay? Because in our normal brain, referrals we think serves us too, right? Because we know a referral, if we sit down with a referral, it's 90% more likely to close. It's gonna close quicker. It's gonna be bigger premium, all these things, right? We're in our heads about how it serves us. So we panic about asking it because we don't wanna put people out, right? We don't wanna lose the sale that we just made by asking them for one more thing. We don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. Sometimes we just don't have the technical training to do it, right? We're not confident enough because we haven't invested enough in doing it. But it's all fear focused, and it's all focused on us. And I know you guys have heard this, right? But when your mind's on service, there's no need to be nervous, right? So when you have a perspective flip, let me ask you this. Do you believe in what you do for families? Do you believe in what you do? Do you believe this product is the best thing you can put in their hands when it happens? Do you believe in the company? Because then you are doing them a disservice if you don't ask for referrals. Because if you don't ask for referrals, someone else is. Someone else is, I promise you. And you are doing a disservice to them. You're failing that person by not asking for a referral. Flip your brain. You are doing them a disservice. I don't want to do a disservice to you or your family. When you stop thinking about yourself and what you want from them and start thinking about serving them and their family, it changes, okay? Okay, now let's go back to the introduction really quick, okay? I want to teach you guys this, okay? This is CLASP. Now, I use CLASP in everything, okay? Not just an introduction. But it's just a good way it's a good process that you can put towards everything. So CLASP, okay? When you meet a prospect, okay, and this is all gonna sound familiar because I know Tina's trained on it, it's not rocket science, but I just wanna point out a couple of things. So CLASP, when you first introduce yourself, the first one is currently. This is just an understanding of where the prospect is currently and what the current situation is, right? Currently, do they have insurance somewhere else, right? Do they have all these things, right? This next one, though, is really important, and a lot of people skip it, okay? The next one is like. So many of us skip the like part, and we go straight for, oh, you have Aflac? Let me change that for you. Let me tell you why we're better. Let me tell you why we're better. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this, okay? You don't have coverage? Okay, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Like is finding out what they like about their current situation. What do you love about your Aflac policy? Why did you decide, if you've heard of this insurance before, why was it the right decision for you not to get coverage? Why was that the right decision for you and your family? I would love to know that, right? Why do you like, what do you like? If it's an agent, right? If it's their agent, how do they really serve you? How is this agent providing so much service to you? How are they doing a good job for you? Ask those questions, okay? People will be shocked. But salespeople skip over the like because we want to kill. So don't skip the like, okay? The next one is alter. Okay, what would you alter about your current situation? Now, this one's important, guys, and here Southwestern loves acronyms, okay? So even within an acronym, even within CLASP, you get another one, CPR. Now, this one is what separates average closers from people who close nonstop, okay? CPR. Cut, pour, remedy. When they give you an alter, when you say, if you could change anything about your policy, if you could change anything about your agent, if you could change anything about what your currently is like, what would it be? And then you have to ask a second level question. Can you explain that a little bit more to me? Tell me a little bit more about that. Okay, so you cut them open. This is violent analogy, but just go. Okay, you cut them open. And then you have to pour salt until they almost can't breathe. You have to learn to dig for pain. You have to learn to do it. You have to learn to shut up. So I make salespeople that I'm in coaching with, when they're going into a big meeting, I make them take a rock with them and squeeze it. Put all your pressure and everything you want to say into that rock. All you should be saying to your client is, tell me a little bit more about that. Why do you want to change that? You know, if you've heard, if whatever their pain is, guys, you have to pour more salt. And then you are the remedy. Okay? You have to provide them with a remedy. Don't let them bleed out on the table, but get them all cut up a little bit. Okay? Don't let them bleed out. Don't put them in such a dark place that they're like, I'm never going to go out. But this is people who don't have the policy, guys. This is where you talk about their family. This is where you talk about what it's going to look like and really dig into that and ask them questions. Hey, listen, I know you don't have coverage and it was the right decision for your family because it was affordable. Have you ever considered what it would be like if you were going through cancer and you didn't have the policy, right? But then you have to make sure you at least dig 3 times. You have to stab. We stab with love, okay? We cut out their hearts with love, okay? The signer, guys, this one's really easy. And we go deeper into that with coaching, okay? But I think you guys get it. Okay, it's that question, what is it costing you? Not how much is it costing you, right? The signer, guys, that's easy. That's just making sure all the right people are there to make the decision, pre-qualifying that in the introduction, okay? And then paint the picture. If I did all the things that you currently love, all the things you love about your life right now, if I did that and then changed the things that you didn't love, is there any reason we shouldn't move forward? And here's what it's like, and really selling yourself and why and what it's like to work with you. You paint them the picture of the destruction you caused in CPR. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah, is everybody with me? Yeah, that makes sense, okay? Then I want to talk to you guys about closing, okay? So I want you to write these numbers on a piece of paper. Okay. 2, 5, 15. Anybody know who are my closers? Who's a closer? Taylor, where are you at? Who's a closer? Who identifies as a closer? Listen, I may not be able to. What?
You asked where I was at, so I said I'm here.
Okay, yeah. Who's a closer, right? Does anybody know, anybody have a guess on what this 2 stands for? Anybody? Okay, it's average. Kayla, will you mute yourself again? It's average, okay? It's the average number of closes that salespeople know. Think about this. Think about your last 10 meetings, okay? And I don't want to know the situation. I don't want to know, you know, what happened leading up to it, anything like that. But can anyone tell me how they closed? Can anyone give me the phrase? When you come to the end and you're getting ready to ask for the money, throw out some of the phrases that you guys use. Anybody? Nobody? Nobody's closing? But it's either, okay, in Family Heritage, I know it's assumptive and it's a choice of 2 positives. Do you get your mail here or at the post office? Right? The average salesperson has 2 closes. That's it. What do you guys think the number 5 stands for?
Moderate.
That's a good guess. That's a good guess, Rachel. No. So 5 is the number of times the average salesperson has to ask for the business. Okay, when it comes to overcoming objections and all those things. So let me ask you this. If we have to ask for the business 5 times, but we only have 2 ways to ask for it, what do we start sounding like? Pushy, right? It sounds like this. It sounds like objection, objection, overcome. Okay, so do you get your mail here at the post office? Objection, overcome. So do you get your mail here at the post office, right? This is where the negative connotation of salespeople comes from. This is it. Because we only have 2 ways to ask for the business, and we have to overcome it 5 times. They're going to get 4 objections to why they shouldn't do business. So we're going to have to overcome it 5 times. And we don't have 5 different ways to do it. Coaching program, so we have 15 different ways to close. What I do with people is I flush out 5 that make sense to you, and I work on them, and we drill them, and you become a 5 technique closer. Okay? But that's the connotation of selling. I want you guys, along with this 2, 5, and 15, I want to work with you guys on the power of perspective. Okay? Perspective. Because it's, how many times have you guys about perspective? Yeah. Over and 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 over. Okay. I'm gonna only seconds. Okay. Look at the screen. And when I F's. You know how to change. Yeah. At the bottom of the screen, and you just type in it. I want to see your answers in the chat box, but I want you to count the number of F's you see on the screen. Count, set, go.
Billie Joe, you were cutting out pretty bad right there in that little section.
Did you count?
You were cutting out
5, okay. Oh, did you guys all count the F's? I see Shannon's. 6.
I didn't see anything because you cut out so bad.
Yeah, you just were cutting out really bad. I didn't even like.
Okay, I'll back up there for 1 second. Count the F's. Okay, how many did you get? Put them up in the chat box. Three. Crap, 3, 5. Shannon, you don't count because you got to do it twice. Okay. 3, right? 5. Shannon's right, guys. There are 6 F's. You guys know those? 6 F's. Guys, our brain works phonetically, okay? Our brain works phonetically. So when we read that, we don't see the ofs because it's a V. Our brain works phonetically. And this is a silly thing, but the only reason that I show it to you guys is sometimes, just like with Tina having me come in today, you need an outside perspective to show you what's right in front of your face. You need it, right? You need it, okay? You need it. It's just part of it. We need someone to tell us something that we can't see, okay? What do all of these people have in common? Anybody know?
They're wealthy.
They're
They're all
wealthy,
very, very successful.
very, very, very successful,
Masters of their craft.
masters of their craft. Do you know what else they have in common? They all have a coach. They all have a coach. Okay? They all have a coach. Okay? They're masters of their craft, they're top producers, and they all have a coach. Okay? How many of you guys are at least a little open-minded, really quick, to me telling you what coaching is? You guys want to know? Yeah? I just want to tell you what you get, okay? Some of you are going to be like, yep, awesome. I definitely want to coach. Some of you are not. And honestly, it doesn't matter to me. I'm here for Tina and to serve you guys no matter what, okay? No matter what, that is my heart for y'all, okay? So what we do is we do top producers edge coaching, okay? With this, it is a one-on-one program, okay? It's a one-on-one coaching program, okay? Completely customized to who you are and what you need, okay? Someone in your corner, no matter what, okay? The biggest thing you're gonna get from coaching, okay, number one, above all else, is you're gonna make more money. Can I see everyone's eyes? I know you're writing stuff down, but look at me. You are going to make more money, okay? You are going to increase your income. Our standard, guys, in coaching is at least a 25%. But I have some people, guys, I have a girl who sells P&C insurance, went from making $40,000 in a year to on track for 120 this year. Okay? You are going to make more money. That's it. Okay? No matter what. Number two, okay, you're going to multiply your time. Okay? For some of you, it's just having the time to spend with your family. It's having the time to create a balanced life for yourself, for your future, right? There's a lot of people. Patrick Samuels, guys. How many of you guys know Patrick Samuels? Yeah? He's been in coaching with us. For him, he just got married. He's a newly married guy. Wanted to make sure he didn't compromise what it was like at home for what he needed his business to do. Okay? So we will create more time with improved systems, okay? The last thing, guys, that it's gonna do for you, maybe not the last, but the next one, is it's gonna increase your confidence, okay? It's gonna increase your confidence in who you are and what you do. Guys, there are people like Dan Lehane that have been doing his job for 30 years. And he got into coaching because he couldn't see himself anymore. He couldn't see what was going on in his own business, and he needed someone else to talk to him about it. There are top producers. How many of you guys have heard the name Aaron Stoll? You guys know who Aaron Stoll is? Yeah, he's a bad mofo. He still got into coaching because he needed to learn how to talk to himself the right way. He knew how to talk to his team. He knew how to talk to other people, but he had no idea how to talk to himself. Okay, so it's an increase in confidence. Okay, and it increases your confidence in who you're calling on and how you're closing and what you're doing. Okay, so included in coaching, guys, is one-on-one calls. So we do twice a month, every other week, for 45 minutes where we just dive in. Now, that's not the only time you talk to your coach, but it's 45 minutes of nothing else is going on. We are diving in, and then it gives you a week and a half to implement what we talked about before we circle back and make sure that it's working, okay? Now, I talk to my clients almost every day. Tina knows I was on the phone with them all day yesterday. But you at least have 45 minutes of just dive in. This is all about Bree. This is all about Tina. This is all about Vanessa. This is all about Shannon, okay? We have modules that are based around things, so we take you through our learning system. Guys, our system, we couldn't guarantee 25% increase if we didn't have a system, right? If we weren't practitioners of everything that we preach. So the modules, there's 50 of them. If you are in leadership or if you move into leadership, it doubles. So someone like a Tina or someone that's looking to get into team building, it starts to double. Also, after your coaching call, so we have online videos that are set up around your module that you get sent to every other day just to make sure the message keeps fresh, okay? And then we track your critical success factors, which are exactly like putting in your stats. I know all y'all love it. I loved putting in stats, but we do it, okay? And we really try to move your business forward, all right? click through, click through, click through. So here's the deal. How do I know this is for me? Okay, because I'll be honest with you, it's not for everyone. It's not. There are lots of people that think it is, but it really isn't. Okay, because there are things that have to be true about you in order for it to work. Okay, so number one, are you coachable? And I mean, let me see your eyes again. Let me see your eyes again. Are you really coachable? Okay, because really being coachable is more than listening, right? It's being open to take advice from people who know what they're doing and know what it takes to be successful. But are you open to doing things differently? Okay, can you be committed? Are you 100% committed to growing your business? Okay, I know everyone's heard me say this because I really believe in it. Okay, when it comes to the breakfast table, okay, there are two types of commitment. Okay, there's eggs and there's bacon. There's a pig, there's a chicken. A chicken is involved, right, in the process of making an egg. They're involved. But a pig is committed. There's no going back. Once you're bacon, you're bacon. That's it, right? There's no change. So are you that committed to growing your business? Because if you're not, don't even think about it, right? Don't even think about it. And then are you ready for change? So guys, a lot of people want change. A lot of people want things to be different. They want change, but they don't want to change. So you have to be willing and open to doing that, or it doesn't work. Okay? And honestly, I'll be really transparent with you guys, just from 100% of you guys' world. If you answered no to any of those questions, don't even talk about getting into coaching. Don't do it. It won't work. If you answered no to any of those questions, being coachable, being committed, or being ready for change, don't do it. If you said yes to those three things and you want to talk about coaching, I totally will. But I want to make sure that it's a good fit, right? We don't look for a sale in coaching. We look for a good fit. Because when it's a good fit, magical things happen. But when it's not, it's not. Okay? So what I want you guys to do really quick, if you're open-minded, and you can just text it to me, okay? If you want to talk about coaching, one-on-one, not in a group, obviously, one-on-one, send me a 1, okay? I want you to put yourself in one of those 3 categories. Number 1 is, I want to coach tomorrow. I need a coach last week. I need a coach. I need someone, excuse my language, to get into my shit, hold me accountable, and make me a bunch of money. I need that, okay? That's 1. A 2 is, I think I want to be in coaching, but I have a lot of questions. And a number 3 is, awesome training. I got a lot out of this. Coaching's just not a good fit for me. Either way, guys, whatever you do, I promise you, my feelings are not hurt. Like I said, I'm here for Tina and to serve y'all, okay? And to really give you something to go implement. So it's not going to hurt 2 or a 3, okay? And while you're doing that, I'm going to let Tina, welcome Tina back to Tina, if you want to take control.
Okay.
And just share, and I would love to hear your takeaways. And
Okay. So I don't know if because I think you have control, Billie Joe, so I don't know if the team can see me, but I just want to say thank you for first of all, just how organized your presentation was and how it emotionally walked us through some pain points, honestly. So I know that the things that I took away, if I took away as many things as I did, and I have 4 pages of notes, that the team, being less tenured than me, had to really took a lot away, and maybe they feel a little bit overwhelmed. But some of the things that I took away, Billie Joe, and guys, I have just started considering taking a coach for myself, and Bree and I were talking about this yesterday, because I have so much unrealized potential, and I'm closest with Bree. So Bree knows that I tend to have ideas and then I don't execute fully through on my potential. So I know that this is what Billie Joe does for a living, but we're friends. So we don't just hang out and talk about work all the time. We're friends. But I brought this to her a couple of weeks ago and asked her about coaching, because there's not a lot of people that can coach me, unfortunately, because when you look at her, are you coachable? Are you committed? And are you ready for change? So I'm really honest with myself, and I'm not always coachable by everyone, but I am coachable to Billie Joe. So I asked her to, I've been inquiring about this. So what I really like about this program that I took away today was just your introduction of the company. And it's working with professionals, or really working with you, Billie Joe. You're the professional to elevate sales, but it's not just elevating sales, it's how you do it through building habits. So that's a super huge takeaway, is elevating sales through building habits and being really vulnerable and really honest. Habits are my weakness. So, and you know this, and probably Bree knows this, and the team, y'all don't know it, but it is. Habits are my weakness. Because I don't want to be held accountable all the time. So that's just being really vulnerable and honest, and a takeaway. And then also the second takeaway was, and I didn't know this, but it's working with you and a professional who has my value system. So you used on many occasions, you used putting the client, there being a client focus, and you actually use the word servant selling. Anybody who knows me knows I use the word servant leadership often. Bree posted a quote on our Instagram yesterday about, if there is breath in my body, there is service in my heart. So knowing that I'm going to be working with a company with the same value system of servant selling and servant leadership almost makes it a no-brainer. So between how you build habits and the integrity by which you do it, that really, those are the two takeaways for me that make choosing you a no-brainer. So yeah,
I love that. And guys, you have a leader who's willing to be vulnerable about where she's strong and where she's weak, right? Who is 817-559-0995? Who's that? Nobody?
Amanda.
Invisible. Amanda, what was your biggest takeaway? Maybe not.
Your habits, finding a way, not finding an excuse, those type of things. Like it all just, rung home and made sense.
Yeah, no, for sure, right? And it's so hard because we know all this, guys. We know, but it's still hard, right? Let's see. Who is Adela? Adela, what was your biggest takeaway?
The part about when we were doing the triangle and you were talking about accountability, and you said growing from accountability. I think a lot of times, I know for me, it's kind of a scary thing when you think about accountability. You're going to get in trouble. You're going to, fail. But changing your perspective on accountability and looking at it as this is an opportunity for me to be better, to grow. It was my biggest thing taken away from this.
Who is 214-293-8717?
That's me, Chris.
Chris, what's your biggest thing?
Well, you hit home on a lot of points with me, but primarily being reflective on yourself, on your approach, and how you can improve. you know, in my past experience with leadership, I've always found it to be very valuable to reflect on your day, on the conversations that you've had with people, if you were able to help them, you know, and that, you know, you touched on those things quite a bit through the servant approach, you know, and being able to believe wholeheartedly in what you're doing, that you're helping people, but also to reflect on yourself and how you can improve daily on helping those people.
Yeah, that reflection piece, it's so, and that's that perspective, right? It's having someone outside of yourself look at you, right? Shannon, what was your biggest takeaway?
I would probably say the class principle, the way you kind of detailed the CPR and everything. I've never actually heard that.
Yeah.
I know you kind of talked about it with introduction, and it's also underneath take action now. So I'm assuming that's a minute because it's all actually activity and making something happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Bree, what's your biggest takeaway?
So when you were talking about procrastination and you referred to it as creative avoidance, I had never heard it put that way. And because I mean, I had heard, and I know that I struggle with procrastination in some areas. But I mean, that word never resonated with me. But when you put creative avoidance, I'm such a creative person. If I think about myself thinking, oh my gosh, I'm avoiding my creativity, that hit home. I was like, okay, well, that's the way I can overcome my procrastination if I use that language.
Yeah, no, 100%, right? We're so good at it. Mary, it would be good, you know, I know you're new to the group. What was your biggest takeaway?
I would have to say it was so many different things. First of all, the servant selling and servant leadership. I love that because when you have it at heart as a servant, not that you're higher than the people that are working with you, it makes a world of difference. So that way it changes your mindset of how you're presented to your client. I'd also have to say, with the procrastination, the way that you put out, like, I hadn't heard that one. As Bree, I was like, okay, that's a new one. And I was like, yes, truth be told, there are times when we do. And we're not real enough with ourselves to say, you know what, you're lying, you know, you are procrastinating. So, I mean, to be able to be honest with yourself at all times, I mean, and really look yourself, and then have somebody, as you said, to call you. I always say, getting your behind about something. You know, when you have somebody there to say, hey, you know, you were shortchanging yourself, or you shortchanged somebody else, it makes you stop and go, oh, I didn't know. Or it makes you go, let me change that. You know, that was another one. And also about the CPR, that was very interesting. I had never heard it put like that before. So those were some of the high points, and definitely about being coachable, being committed, and ready to make a change.
Yeah.
That's very important, because if you're not, it's like if you, like you said, if you just had a no to even one of the three, then no, you're not. But it's like when you are ready for something fresh and something new, then it's like you're thirsty. As I used to say, the master will appear when the student is ready. So it's like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm like, okay.
Cindy, hi, nice to see your face. What was your biggest takeaway?
My biggest takeaway was the CPR piece. Just kind of, you know, with family heritage, that just kind of correlates with the iceberg page and stuff. So that kind of really like resonated. So that CPR piece was really big for me.
Yeah, and I'll give you guys this as a visual too. I know I've told Tina this all the time, but when we were with our prospects, if you picture them in a suit of armor, okay, like a knight, right? They meet you with armor, they meet you with their baggage. When you, real armor, guys, like if you take a knight's armor and you shine it up to a light, you'll see all these microscopic, tiny little holes, and that's where we put our knife, right? we have to ask them the right questions. We have to cut them the right way to find the pain, to find the minuscule holes and shine it in the light, and then, you know, knife them in a nice way for their own benefit. Okay. Dane, I haven't met you. What was your biggest takeaway?
I think a lot of everyone's touched on a lot of great points that you said, but what Tina said, you hit a lot of pain points and things like, yeah, I need to hear, but I don't want to hear, but it's good that I heard it. kind of
Yeah.
thing. But the little angel and the little devil, it's just that you can take that in every aspect of your life. You listen, the devil can be a little bit louder than the angel a lot bit of the times. But the moment you start listening to him, like, you don't feel confident. You start waiting till the last minute to do anything. That's where the bad habits set in. And just really, you got to flick them off, like you said. So just making sure to stay confident and just do what you do. So.
Yeah. Taylor, what about you?
So my biggest takeaway from this, hold on. Now you should be able to see my face.
I can't see your face.
Okay. So I'll be looking at you this morning. It's cool. But what I took away from this is the coaching aspect of it. It's not just even if we hire you as a coach. It's being coachable, period.
Yeah.
And it's knowing your own worth. I run into this all the time with my recruits, is second guessing themselves, shortchanging themselves, not following the system. You know, I've even done it myself. Like, I had a little breakdown this morning with Tina. Like, I mean, we do it. We're human. But it's knowing and taking accountability for your actions and knowing that, you know, if I say no to these questions, then I'm not coachable. What am I going to do to change that? You know?
Yeah.
That's the biggest takeaway I took from it, is being coachable. Because if you want to be successful in this business, you need to be coachable.
And I am going to, so I'm going to reach out to all of you guys that text me individually over the next 2 days. And I'll try to get to all y'all today and just touch base. And I'm going to talk with Tina. I want you guys to know, like, from the bottom of my heart, how much she cares about finding a way for all of you to get whatever level of coaching that you want. She cares about y'all a lot. In fact, it's been 6 conversations. Swing you, okay? Like, she cares about it if you guys are in that boat, okay? In your heart is. She really cares about leading you and being there for you. And if you guys have my cell phone number, if you need anything, feel free to reach out. But I'm just really happy and proud to serve you guys. And I hope that you at least got something that you can go and think on and implement today, okay? But Tina, I'm done, and I'll give it back to you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Billie Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.